So welcome, I'm really excited to introduce our speaker today. Today's seminar series is all about the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. And this agency does so much for our community, for older adults and people with disabilities. And they partner with Senior Concerns often. So we are often referring back and forth to each other. We also receive grants and funding for some of our programs directly from this agency. So we're so happy to present with them today because there's so many amazing programs that they do that many of you can take advantage of. Our speaker today is Jeanette Jaregui, and she's the Public Information Officer for the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. You might hear it referred to as the AAA, and we don't mean the car insurance place. In our line of work, that means an area agency on aging, and I'm sure she'll explain more about that. Jeanette leads the marketing and communication campaigns for programs focused on older adults, people with disabilities, and caregivers. She's their public information officer, and I'm so happy to have her share these programs with you today. So thank you so much, Jeanette, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to connect with, there's a lot of new names for me. And so I don't know, Martha, it looks like we have a hand up early on. I don't know if we want to have, if Vic.
Sure, Vic, did you have a question? I don't see anything typed in, but if you do, please go ahead and type it into either the chat or the Q&A box. Or maybe you're just waving hello.
Well, hello, Vic, and everybody else who is here. These are the, with the exception of Fabiola, these are new names for me. So I'm excited to connect with all of you and be here and share some information about the VC AAA. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and start the slideshow. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay in slideshows via Zoom, especially I have 2 videos to share. So hopefully that will not be the case today. Hopefully we won't have a delay, but just giving a heads up just in case. Again, my name is Jeanette Jaregui. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. As Martha mentioned, I handle all the marketing and public relations for the Area Agency on Aging, and a lot of that has to do with community partnerships, including programs we offer in partnership with Senior Concerns. The VC AAA is the focal point of services in Ventura County for anyone 60 and older and persons with disabilities, as well as caregivers. We recognize, in recent years, especially the critical role that caregivers play, and that, making sure that we emphasize and support their needs as well. The VC AAA offers targeted resources for the most vulnerable older adults and tailors all services to meet the specific needs of the community. So I have a bullet pointed list of a majority of the services that we offer, and I'll be going over most of these services in this presentation. If it'll let me, there we go. Did it skip one? Sorry about that. All right. So the VC AAA, the visibility of the VC AAA became much more pronounced during the COVID-19 crisis because the populations that we serve are among the most vulnerable and most affected by COVID-19. So I wanted to first share, the services at a glance for 2020, 2021 at the height of the COVID-19 crisis. We served more than 6 million meals since March 2020. And again, that was made possible through community partnerships. The VC AAA Senior Nutrition Garden produced more than 35 pounds of fresh organic produce that was harvested and delivered to older adults and people with disabilities throughout Ventura County. That was in 2021 alone. We coordinated vaccination appointments in partnership with Ventura County Human Services Agency and Ventura County Public Health. We were able to provide transportation to vaccination and testing sites, in addition to our traditional transportation services. We rolled out a robotic pet companion campaign in January 2021, and that was really targeted at older adults and people with disability to provide a companion to help combat depression, isolation, and anxiety. We launched VC Connects in the summer of 2021 in partnership with Ventura County Library and the Ventura County Information Technology Services Department with a goal of bringing digital devices to homes of individuals who have otherwise do not have access to a computer or internet services. And we continue to add additional digital service programs as we understand that, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit, but we understand that the need to not only get digital devices into the homes of older adults and people with disabilities, we understand that the need to learn how to use those digital devices is also there. We had a virtual open enrollment and continued Medicare and benefit enrollment services option available. Our HICAP department, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a bit, continued to provide residents with critical services related to Medicare and other benefit enrollment through virtual appointments. Our HICAP staff, again, they were able to connect with clients via an outdoor kiosk and virtually and over the phone. Our case managers were able to connect with clients, and especially those of the most vulnerable clients that we serve, through porch visits and virtual check-ins. This was really, really critical to make sure that we kept that connection in place to maintain the health and safety of all involved, our case managers and our clients. We were able to hold our fall prevention forums virtually. Those were traditionally held in person, and we were able to bring those forums to the virtual platform and reached even more people than we had reached in person. So those were a great success, and they continue to be available for folks to utilize and watch and gain critical information about mobility and balance. And then our letters of support campaign and our holiday greetings campaigns were both launched in 2020, and they resulted in more than 20,000 letters received from the community that were delivered directly to isolated older adults and people with disabilities. And we continue to get letters of support throughout the year, and our holiday greetings campaign continues during the holiday season. It's really phenomenal to see the response we've gotten from the community for both of those campaigns. Just really kind letters and notes that go out with our food boxes and really just brighten the day of the folks on the receiving end of those. So really at the center of the VC AAA is the Aging and Disability Resource Center, or ADRC. And what that is, it's really a no wrong door approach to all of the services that the populations we serve might need. So if you call our office, regardless of where you live in Ventura County, or if you have a loved one in Ventura County, you're able to talk to our information and assistance team and gain access to information. And if it's not something that we house directly as a direct service for the VC AAA, then we will provide resources to you that are offered through partnering agencies. And so really the ADRC is designed to streamline access to all of the services that the populations we serve might need access to. And that's offered in partnership with the Independent Living Resource Center, Tri-County's Independent Living Resource Center. So it's really just a way to make a one-stop shop, simpler approach to accessing the services, again, that the populations we serve might need. Martha mentioned a little bit about the Family Caregiver Resource Centers. Again, we realize and recognize the important role family caregivers and all caregivers serve in the community. And while the focus for many years was on providing services for older adults, we realize again that the importance of providing services for caregivers is just as important. So there are 3 Family Caregiver Resource Centers in Ventura County. Martha mentioned Senior Concerns, which is headquartered in Thousand Oaks and serves East Ventura County. There's the Camarillo Healthcare District, which is headquartered in Camarillo and serves the Camarillo community. And then the VC AAA has an in-house La Buena Vida Family Caregiver Resource Center, which is headquartered in the Santa Clara Valley and serves all caregivers of West Ventura County, including Santa Paula, Fillmore, Piru, Ojai, Ventura, and Oxnard. And then this program also serves monolingual Spanish-speaking caregivers countywide. So again, there are resources throughout the county to provide support groups and just resources in general that caregivers might need as they continue their journey, with helping to care for a loved one. And then I wanted to make a quick mention of Churalta. So Churalta is an online tool that we've recently launched designed to manage care at home. It's offered through the VC AAA via TrueAlta. And there's going to be more information about this rolled out in the next few weeks, but they provide a ton of resources, online support groups, online tools, tips and tools for caregivers in particular. So keep an eye out for that information. More information to come soon. Our health insurance counseling and advocacy program and benefits enrollment center. So I made a quick mention of HICAP a little earlier, and our, the ways that HICAP pivoted during the COVID-19 crisis. The purpose of HICAP is to provide free, unbiased counseling and community education related to Medicare in particular. HICAP completes comparisons on all products, and really just provides, the key takeaway from HICAP is to know that it's all free, unbiased, completely unbiased guidance related to anything Medicare. We focus the last quarter of every year on open enrollment in particular. We have a variety of seminars and workshops throughout the year. And we've gone back to in-person appointments, but also offer appointments via telephone and virtually. The Benefits Enrollment Center, when a client calls HICAP, you will instantly be given a series of questions to determine if you have additional needs that you might qualify for that you're unaware of, including public benefit programs that might help pay for prescription drugs, medical care, food, and utilities. So there's a lot of programs out there that folks aren't aware exist. And so our HICAP team is highly trained team of volunteers and staff alike that can guide you through. It's a very complicated process and can guide you through that if you're new to Medicare or if you're an existing Medicare recipient. Our senior nutrition program is probably one of the most well-known programs through the VC AAA, especially since the COVID-19 crisis. There's a lot of information out there about all of the meals that the VC AAA was able to get out to the community with partnering agencies. And so we have a food box program. During the COVID-19 crisis, we partnered with dozens of local restaurants that helped not only support the restaurants, but were able to get high quality food out to the residents of Ventura County. There are a variety of community meal sites, including through Senior Concerns, that are able to provide congregate and or home delivered meals to folks throughout Ventura County. We have nutrition counseling, nutrition classes, and then we also have educational materials, including the recipe book that you see here, and placemats that are currently in the redesign phase, but we do have some of our older placemats available, and they all provide tips and tools for eating healthy on a budget. And really the focus is on making sure we educate the community, the folks that we serve, on the proper nutrition for people 60 and older, but also on recipes and meals that are budget friendly, because we know that the cost of groceries, especially now, is increasing. It's hard to access healthy foods. And so we want to make sure that we arm folks that are part of our senior nutrition program with the information they need to be able to successfully tackle eating healthy on a budget. Our senior nutrition garden is a huge element of our senior nutrition program. It sits on a little over an acre of land in Oxnard next to Food Share. We have a partnership with Food Share and the Ventura County probation department and so right between, if you're familiar with where Food Share is, right next to it is the juvenile detention facility, and there's a little bit over an acre of land. There are a couple acres of land, and that's where our senior nutrition garden sits, and it's phenomenal what that garden is able to produce. Here are some statistics from the last year at a glance so far. It's if you have any interest in volunteering, we're always looking for volunteers at the garden. But even if you want to just go visit it and check it out, it's a fully organic garden. It's really more of a farm now. You can see our 2 garden managers up there in the top corner in the picture. We've gotten some chickens recently. We're aiming to get 8 to 10 chickens, and they're all going to be named for former garden managers. So it's pretty phenomenal. We have a chicken coop that was built by one of our volunteers. That's remarkable. I mean, the quality of this chicken coop is fantastic. And just to see the volunteers and the garden managers at work, getting, these hundreds of pounds of fresh organic produce harvested every week. It's really just fantastic. We have a quarterly newsletter available on our website to get updates and information. The first Saturday of every month is a special volunteer day from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. where folks can just go and volunteer for the day. And if you love it that much, you can continue volunteering. But I'm going to share quickly just a video about the first Saturday of the month, just so you get an idea of what is offered through the Senior Nutrition Garden.
Hey, I'm out here at the Senior Nutrition Garden for first Saturdays. Every first Saturday of the month from 10 to 2, we're open for volunteers to come out and join us. We always get an amazing turnout. Like today, we were able to do some really awesome stuff. We laid the foundation for a chicken coop that's going to house 6 to 10 birds. We planted about 18 blueberry bushes, getting us hundreds of pounds of blueberries. And we widened quite a few of our rows, which is going to enable us to grow 2/3 more vegetables in each row. Come on down and join us.
So I'm gonna back up a little bit to see if it'll let me. If you can see this sunflower here in the bottom corner of the page, it's just an example. I mean, just the flowers out there alone. The produce is pretty phenomenal out there, but the flowers, there's a ton of flowers that have been planted to serve as pollinators, just natural pollinators, and it's pretty remarkable just to see those grow. And just thought I would share that also. I mentioned a little bit earlier that the ways in which the fall prevention program pivoted through the COVID-19 crisis. Again, we were hosting we traditionally hosted 2 fall prevention forums each year. We are now shifting to 1 comprehensive fall prevention forum that's going to be offered in English and Spanish, and that will be offered this year in September 2022, and that's going to be in person with hopefully a hybrid option to attend online as well. We're working out those details, but the fall prevention forums are held in different locations throughout the county every year and provide a ton of resources regarding mobility and balance and strengthening both. Really, the fall prevention program was born of through the Ventura County Elderly Fall Prevention Coalition, which is made up of a variety of community partners. And, there are a ton of resources available, but through the VC AAA in particular, we offer case management services and evidence-based classes designed specifically for people 60 and older. So if you have a fear of falling, if you have fallen and are fearful of falling again, or if you just want to improve your mobility and balance, we have a class that is designed for people of all ranges of mobility. So a matter of balance is for those who might be on the beginning side of things. We have stepping on. And then for those that are interested in able, we have Tai Chi, moving for better balance. And there are ways for those who are chair-based to participate in Tai Chi as well. And then we have Walk with Ease for folks who are interested in a little more activity. So it's, again, these are evidence-based classes. They're proven to reduce falls and strengthen mobility and balance. And there's really not a price tag you can put on that. They're critical resources, and they're all free of charge to the community.
And I just wanted to jump in because Judy just chatted to the group that she just took a Matter of Balance class in CME.
Okay.
Great class. I really need it. Fell several times before.
Thank you
really
for that feedback, Judy. It's the fall prevention class is really as part of, I'm going to go back to this first so you don't see a black screen really quick. I'm going to show another video in a second, but I go around and I do videos of all of our different programs. I'm able to communicate with some of our clients who participate in these events and these classes. And I get to see firsthand, because of that work, I get to see firsthand the effects of these classes and just how beneficial they are. And in addition to the physical benefits, you have the social element of it, especially for individuals who might be living alone. You're able to gather in a class, and these classes become like second families, especially for those who continue on the classes beyond just the first, season. So it's it's pretty remarkable. So I'm going to show you a video now. This is from our Walk with Ease class, but this is just gives you an idea of the benefits of the classes, and in particular during the COVID-19 crisis.
Well, it gets people out together and motivate each other to walk. They need to walk because we have to use this physical body for the rest of our life. And if they're capable of getting up to walk, then to be able to walk comfortably so that they're not walking incorrectly. Believe it or not, there are lots of things that you have to correct about your walking, whether your feet are turned out or turned in, or whether you're tick-tocking, or some of the things that you've maybe developed that you don't even know that you're doing until somebody can point it out and show you that, no, you need to work on that. Your posture, you have to stand up. People who leaned forward to look and see where they're walking are learning to stand up straight and see it in a different way.
It's incredibly important because the inactivity created an osteoarthritis situation because I was sitting, and to be able to move and deal with my life, I have to walk. And without this class, I don't know what I do.
It's beneficial because it's for all levels of walking. I walk 6 miles every day. I've been doing it for 6 years, but I came because it was additional walking. Once I arrived and I saw people with canes, that helped me to encourage someone I knew who had a cane to come and walk in this class. And I said, it doesn't matter if you can walk fast or medium or slow, you're moving, and that's what counts.
And really enjoyed the class. And I started volunteering just to meet people. While you're out with people, you're not always alone. Then when you're walking and stuff, you're walking and talking, and it's fun, really.
Well, I don't really have any kind of social life. I'm isolated at home, and to be able to come outside and just see other people, even we're social distancing, we wear masks, we're taking care of ourselves, just seems really important.
It gets people out of the house in a safe environment where they're able to move. And you also learn, like the stretching. I haven't been doing the adequate stretching before on my walks. And that's something I learned from this class before and after walking.
Just to be able to see each other and stay like we have, socially distanced and masked, it's healing. I can't put my finger on how spiritual it is just to be able to be with other human beings. And we are social creatures by nature. Just so proud of this class, how they've motivated each other just to keep going.
So that just gives an example. Again, that was recorded during, really in the middle of the COVID-19 crisis. But so much, that's just an example of just so many responses we've received from the community. We are aware of many of the needs of the community, but those were really just highlighted so much more at the height of the pandemic. And it's been rewarding to be able to follow those stories. But it's also very humbling to see the work that we all still have to do to try to meet the needs of the folks that we serve as much as possible. Another element I mentioned briefly is our transportation program. So we have an elder help program that offers transportation and also home modifications like grab bars and railings and that sort of thing. But the transportation element of it provides tickets to Ventura County residents 60 and older, free of cost. This includes dial-a-ride, which is also known as paratransit, or fixed route bus tickets for non-emergency medical appointments, shopping, visiting family, etc. And we also have limited transportation for those who are unable to utilize utilize fixed bus route tickets. And so the eligibility requirements vary, with the exception of the fixed route bus tickets, which are available to all VC AAA clients. But again, we know that the transportation options, especially public transportation options, are very limited in Ventura County. And we know that a lot of the folks that are in the community are unable to, they don't have a car, they're not able to drive. So we're really trying to tackle those needs as best as possible. All right, home share. So housing, another hot topic in Ventura County. And it's a tough topic because there's just, housing, there's not enough housing and there's not enough affordable housing. And so our home share program is really designed to match home owners with home seekers. So those who own a home that might be looking for to rent a room out, or looking for extra ways to bring in some additional income, can apply to be a home provider, while those seeking a home or a room to rent could apply to be as a home seeker. And so the process includes as an application, as I mentioned, and then an interview and inspection of the home provider's home, a thorough background check, and then follow-ups with both the home provider and the home seeker. And so this is an alternative way of meeting housing needs, and trying to think outside the box, and also optimize quality of life for those who might be living alone and might be seeking a roommate. And Martha recently wrote an article, or sorry, she's quoted an article by AARP magazine, which is pretty impressive, about this very topic. And it's just really a difficult time right now. It has been for quite some time, but it continues to be an increasing challenge to find homes, affordable housing. If you go to our website, we have additional resources related to housing, including resources for people who are homeless, and folks looking into facility placement as well. We have launched, as I mentioned, a ton of, well, not a ton, we have a handful of programs related to digital resources. And so one of those programs, as I mentioned, is VC Connects. And here's a little bit more information about it, but really what VC Connects is, it's again in partnership with Ventura County Library and Information and Technology, Ventura County Information and Technology Department. And so there are 12 Ventura County Library locations in the county. And so you can go to any of those locations and check out a digital device just like you would a book, and you can get a free internet hotspot with that. And you have 2 weeks with that device, and you can renew that up to 2 times, I believe. Renew that, check it out just like you would a book again, and you can renew that twice. And it's really been critical. It's open for individuals 18 and older who don't have access to a digital device otherwise. And so again, during the COVID-19 crisis, we recognized that this was a way that people are able to communicate with medical professionals and their family members. Maybe, do some online research for information that they're looking for that they're not able to do otherwise. And then we've also partnered with libraries that are not part of the county library system, including in Thousand Oaks, and then the Blanchard Library in Santa Paula. So we're looking we're constantly looking for ways to reach as many people as possible with this program. In addition to VC Connects, we've partnered with Get Set Up. There are an estimated, close to 200,000 older adults age 16 older in Ventura County. And we're just looking for all ways that we can to bridge the digital divide and combat social isolation. So what Get Set Up is, it's an online platform, and all classes there's about 1,000 classes available for older adults, from beginning classes to learn how to, set up and use a digital device, to more advanced classes depending on the level of the individual using it. All classes are taught by older adults and for older adults. So this platform is exclusively for people 60 and older. a ton of resources. Again, it's pretty phenomenal. And so we have more information on our website and how, you know, a link to get started on there. And so at the end of this presentation, I'm going to put my email address. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you. I'm going to put my email address in the chat so that you can email me with any questions you have beyond this webinar, and anything that comes up in the future. If you would like more information, I'll give you my contact info. I can't emphasize enough the importance of the community partnerships that we have in the county. There are a lot of people that are in need of the services we have, and we would not be able to properly address those needs without our community partners. Two of the programs we have housed under the umbrella of the VC AAA, but are made up of a variety of community partners, are the LGBT plus Aging Coalition and the Dementia Friendly Ventura County. So the LGBT plus Aging Coalition of Ventura County provides education and advocacy in order to create an LGBT plus friendly Ventura County. Really, our goal is to ensure that all people have an opportunity to age with dignity, free from discrimination, and just have equal access to all programs and services. And Dementia Friendly Ventura County is really geared toward both those living with a dementia related disease as well as their caregivers. And you know, the goal for both groups is to build awareness, to provide training opportunities, and really just ensure that all people in Ventura County feel included and have access to information and resources that they need. And, you know, with Dementia Friendly Ventura County in particular, we want to make sure that, you know, we partner with the Alzheimer's Association and make sure that, you know, we connect folks to the resources that they need, because that journey of caring for and also living with a dementia related disease is challenging. And we want to make sure that we help those individuals facing that journey live as optimally as possible. So in a nutshell, the VC AAA has grown significantly over the last 2 years, and we will continue to expand programs and services whenever possible to meet the needs of the populations we serve. We work to seek the best ways to reach Ventura County residents effectively and efficiently with the end goal of optimizing quality of life, and also with the end goal of keeping folks at home and in the comfort of their home as long as possible. We have our Live Well resource guide. This is the 2022 issue. This is available in digital and hard copy format. You can find it on our website. You can also, if you reach out to me, here's my email address, but I'll put it in the chat again. I'll put it in the chat as well. But you can reach out to me directly. This is my direct line phone number as well. You can reach out with any questions. If you'd like copies of Live Well, we can get those to you. We can also make sure that Senior Concerns has a good supply, a healthy supply available, so that if you happen to be at Senior Concerns, you can grab a copy or two there. So I'll connect with Martha to make sure they have some of those. But Live Well is all of the resources that I've mentioned in this presentation and more are included in Live Well. There are feature articles focusing on important topics for older adults and people with disabilities, as well as caregivers. And then there's just several hundred listings of resources, phone numbers, emails, and just it's a pretty all-encompassing marketing piece for us and all resources in Ventura County. So and it's available. It's a single publication, but it's in Spanish and English. And that takes care of my presentation. Does anyone have any questions? And I'll put my email address in the chat right now.
That's amazing. I mean, I obviously work closely with you and the agency, and actually sit on the advisory council. And it's just overwhelming sometimes to hear about all of the different programs and services that you offer. So thank you so much for sharing that and for providing your email address as well, because I think it's incredibly beneficial to have a contact person. It looks like Vic's hand is raised. If you're able to type your question into the chat, Vic, I also can, I think, press allow you to talk. So let's see if that works. Oh, look, I did it. So Vic, if you want to ask a question, you can unmute yourself and ask it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Right. Thank you very much for a very detailed presentation. Except I will recommend that don't show that film because nobody could understand what people were saying with the mask on. So that was kind of waste. And hopefully that's the last time we have something like that. My question is, and was not on your list, does Ventura County Department of Health responsible also to monitor health giving companies or institutions and all that, senior living and home care and all that? Do they have authority to go and visit them and see if they are following the state rules or the county rules, or is it the state responsibility to do that?
That's a great question, Vic. That's not something that is housed under the Area Agency on Aging. I believe you're asking about Ventura County. Are you asking about public health or?
Yeah, public health. Yeah, because the seniors are going and signing up in these places to be taken care of. And I have heard a number of examples how badly they were treated in those locations. I'm not talking about senior concern type of location. I'm talking about people that go for either medical purposes or they go for rooming purposes, you know.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're referring to people that move into facilities. And that actually, one of the agencies that does that visiting, which is a partner with VC AAA, is the Ventura County Ombudsman Program. Is that, I'm thinking what?
Right, that's what I was thinking too. So, and yeah, and we can provide that information to you, Vic, to get in contact with the ombudsman if that's something that you're looking for, if there's a concern you have, for sure.
Well, the reason I brought up because in attending the caregiver, there are some people that are saying how badly their loved ones are being treated in these places. And I kind of mentioned the last meeting that it has to be a resource somewhere that can be reported that you know, the place either is not providing the service that they recommend or they advertise, or you know, they're misrepresenting their capabilities and all that. So I think that'll be a good information to give to the elders to know that if they have a problem, they can call somebody at this county level. And then quickly, the last thing, who does, because as you mentioned, some of people don't have computers and are unable to get some information. For example, a few days ago, I got information from Pfizer that they recalled some of their medication that could have sign of having a cancer mixed with that medication. And I know that most of the older people, including me, we take those medication for cholesterol. The medication that they're talking about is for cholesterol. And who gets that information available to the public?
So that would be something that I would recommend discussing probably with your primary care physician as far as the medications in particular. We don't, as far as the area agency on aging, we don't receive that information regularly and we don't push it out. And I don't know if Martha, if you have information you want to add.
One thing that I have found, especially during the pandemic, is that getting information to people that do not have internet access has been much more difficult because they're not going in person and seeing flyers posted. So one thing we've done through our agency and through the area agency on aging is, you heard about all those people that are getting some type of home delivered meals or home delivered food boxes. And so we really started utilizing that during the pandemic as a way to disseminate information. So we would, send home flyers, and I know that Thousand Oaks City will now knows to actually give to us information that they want distributed to the community that previously was only being done via email. So, I mean, certainly Kaiser would need to address that, and the pharmacies that know people are being prescribed those meds, hopefully find another way. But it is true that getting that information out is so important. And at least now there's an opportunity for people who haven't had internet access through these programs to go and check out a tablet with a Wi-Fi hotspot, so that if they chose to or felt comfortable with it, they could try that area too. So you bring up a good point, because finding ways to get information, especially to homebound seniors without internet, has been a challenge. And I think during this pandemic, we've really worked hard to find other ways to get that information out. So thank you.
I mean, the COVID information, you guys did a great job of informing the public what's happening in the county. And this will be another opportunity to, if you hear a medication that is recalled or whatever, to let the people know, not only older people, but maybe the younger people that are taking that. So anyway, just a suggestion. Thank you very much, Marshall. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Vic. And that is really critical information. And Martha, you're both right. I mean, and sometimes even if you get access to that digital device, you don't know what you don't know. You don't even, you don't know what to look for. I mean, maybe somebody's not aware that their medication has been recalled. And so that is a difficult topic. And, just as Martha mentioned, and as I said, keeping that, the hope is that the primary care physicians and the pharmacies are keeping track of what their patients and customers are on. And and then what you mentioned earlier, Vic, about long-term care facilities, or the ombudsman is a resource also. But as a county, whether it's the VC AAA or Adult Protective Services, anybody who suspects, and this wasn't in the presentation, but this is also something we offer. If anybody who suspects any kind of mistreatment of an older adult, whether it's physical, emotional, financial abuse, any of that, you can reach out to the VC AAA. You can reach out directly to Adult Protective Services. We have a program focused, it's in partnership with the district attorney's office to address elder abuse in particular. But people with concerns can reach out to us, and we will address those concerns with Adult Protective Services. But again, for long-term facilities in particular, the ombudsman would be the best route to take. And then Judy made a comment, which is important. For the fall prevention classes, I had mentioned the case management element of that. And what that offers, you have the classes that give tips and tools, for physical improvement of mobility and balance, but the case management element, and also in the classes, you learn how to make your home safer. And so you learn for hazards to check at home, area rugs that might be lifted or might not be stabilized in your home, cords that might be a tripping hazard, too much clutter, that sort of thing. And so there are tips and tools and medication related information, medications that might not mix well, or could increase the risk of falls. So there is that element to the fall prevention program also. Thank you, Judy, for bringing that up.
Good. And then we just have one other question, which is that recipe book available online on the website?
It is under, so sometimes some of the information on our website might be a little hard to find. If you go to our services and health programs and I think that's health programs, and let me find the exact tab for you. It's our services and senior nutrition program, and then recipes and resources. That's where you go to. But again, if you have a hard time finding it, I'll put the link to that in the chat, and then to that recipe book, I'll put that in the chat. And then again, if you're having a hard time finding any information, or if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to connect with all of you.
I really want to come and tour the garden, and I think volunteer on one of those Saturdays.
Yes, so you can reach out to me for that. I don't think pre-registration is required for that. You can just show up to the garden. Again, it's located next to Food Share in Oxnard. But if you want to sign up to be a volunteer or beyond the first Saturday of the month, or if you would like some kind of tour or something, you can contact me and I can arrange that. But if you want to do next Saturday, that would be fantastic. Again, it starts at 10 a.m. and ends at 2, and bring some water depending on the weather that day. There's really not any covering there. So bring a hat, sunscreen, and some water, and be ready to feel really good about the work you're doing that day.
I love that. I'm going to do that. Well, thank you so much for your presentation today. There's just so many programs that you all offer. So hopefully, I can't imagine everybody didn't learn something new from this presentation. I really appreciate it. Our next seminar will be on May 18th at 3 o'clock over Zoom again, and that one will be how to protect yourself and your loved ones from scams and frauds. And so we have a victim advocate from the county coming to speak with us over Zoom. So I think that'll be really beneficial as well. So thank you so much, Jeanette, for your time today and for all of this amazing information. And I see some lovely comments thanking you as well. We all really appreciate it. And I hope that you all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.